Hey guys, it's dim sum time again, and today on the menu I am doing crispy radish puffs, and these guys are filled with shredded daikon radish, and it's just like a very clean and vegetal filling. And of course it's surrounded by vegan puff pastry. I thought that you guys would like not having to really make it. So this is actually a really easy and quick recipe, and it's super yummy, so I can't wait to show you guys how. Alrighty, so I'm going to start off with 1 pound of this Chinese kind of daikon radish. I'm going to peel it, I'm going to put it into the food processor, and then pow, I'm going to get shreds like this. And because there's a lot of liquid inside daikon radishes, I am basically going to just salt it a little bit. You can see how much there was. So just about half a teaspoon of salt goes in, and then I'm just going to let this sit for about an hour until, you know, some of that water comes out. Look at how much water just came out from that just sitting there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a strainer and then do this in portions and just squeeze out all of that liquid. So now I have a pan over medium to medium-high heat. I'm just putting in a little bit of olive oil, and then probably like about 1 teaspoon of minced garlic go in. And then this is actually the vegan shrimp product. So I took actually 1 vegan shrimp so that you'd have about 1 tablespoon, and I minced it up really nicely. And I'm really just using that up for flavor. So frying this guy for about 1 minute up until all of the flavors mesh together. So after about a minute, I am putting all of the daikon radishes back together, turning down the heat to about medium, and I'm really just trying to evaporate more of that radish liquid. And I think that the idea behind this is that radish liquid can be a little bit bitter at times, so we're kind of getting rid of the original liquid, and then we're going to add in a little bit more to flavor it. So after about 4 to 5 minutes, when you've really seen it dry up, I'm going to add the rest of the flavoring ingredients, and it's just a little bit of white pepper, garlic powder, vegetable bouillon. I think that there's some salt in there and some sugar. So all of that recipe is going to be down below, and I'm just going to mix it in. Again, the heat should be on medium so that you're not burning too many things. So after about 60% of the moisture leaves the radishes, I'm going to actually add in a half a cup of water, and probably about a 1/4 cup at a time, and then just cooking that over medium-high heat just to let the radish puffs soften, and then cook them some more. After the radishes have been cooked about 3 to 4 minutes or so, I'm going to add in 3/4 teaspoon of soy sauce. And it would seem like it would be a little too salty, but this filling actually pairs really well with the puff pastry, and it just flavors the whole dim sum dish really well. So yeah, after all of the liquid has been cooked off, I'd say for another 2 to 3 minutes or so, you're just going to put it into a bowl. And before you stick this guy into the refrigerator, I'm going to add in about a tablespoon of either potato starch or cornstarch, and that's really going to help the filling, you know, really developing its own sauce as it cooks. So stick that guy into the fridge, and with the magic of YouTube, here we are an hour later. So I am using Sainsbury puff pastry. So in the UK, I think that they're a lot luckier because they have puff pastry, they have shortbread, but it's made with margarine instead of actual butter. So I can, you know, buy vegan versions of this pretty readily. So that is what I'm going to take advantage of. But if you guys want the original recipe of these radish puffs, it is actually the egg tart dough. So I'm going to link that down below, and then I'm going to put that up there. But how you form these guys, I'm going to stick very much to the original. So I'm just rolling this guy up, and the more rolls that I can get, the more layers they will be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut, or probably like divide this up into 10 equal pieces first. So if you were making this using the egg tart dough, you would divide them first into 10 different portions, and then you would roll it up and probably repeat this like rolling process 2 times. Because this is already puff pastry, I know that there's going to be a ton of layers already in it. I'm just going to skip all of that, and we're just going to do 1 roll, and I'm going to just squish these guys down a little bit, and I would say to roll it into about 5-inch discs or so. So this is my chilled filling. Everything is nice and thick, so it's going to be very, very easy to fill. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill each one with about 1.5 tablespoons of filling, which is a fair amount, but we're basically just going to fold it over into half moon shape, so it's going to be pretty easy to fold and to seal up the dumplings. So just with puff pastry, remember that you need a nice hard pinch just to make sure that everything is nice and sealed. And basically we're going to keep it like that. So I don't know if you guys can see, but when we were doing the rolling, that middle twirl is actually in the middle of these dumplings. So I'm gonna do it again, but basically when these guys bake up, that middle twirl is going to show up in the middle of the dumpling, and you're going to get to see all of those layers, which is very traditional in how you form these radish puffs. So these guys go into a 400-degree oven and you bake them for about 15 to 20 minutes up until they get nice and golden brown like this. So you can see what that twirl pattern has done after the puff pastries have finished baking, and it really makes for quite the presentation. These guys are so lovely. They're like little pies with, obviously this amazing daikon filling. And for how simple the filling is, it is surely darn good. So like what I normally would do, I'm just gonna cut this guy in half for you so that you can see all of the puff pastry layers and then that amazing radish filling. It is like a pie. Like if you like chicken pot pie, if you like minced meat pies, it is just so good. There's something about, having dough that's surrounding a nice savory filling that really works with this recipe. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed that recipe and that you will try making it. As usual, if you want to see more recipes like this, remember to hit that like and subscribe button, okay? And I will see you guys again next time. Bye!